Hey guys, welcome back. So I really want this video to be targeted towards those people who want to change something in their life. So if you're in the category of wanting to change something, if you have identified something in your life right now, perhaps your lifestyle, perhaps the amount of money you make, or perhaps the things that you're able to do. If you're not able to do all those things, you don't have enough the amount of money you'd like to have. You're not able to live that lifestyle and do the things that you want. Stick around because this is something that you really need to hear. So one of the things that I found when I've talked to a lot of people is that there are many people who want to change something in their life. There are so many people who have identified something in their life that could be a lot better. And that's great. Like I said, I always say that the key to changing your life and to making something better is to actually identify what it is. Identify those things that you don't like right now. Identify, the things that you would like to have, the things you would like to be able to do. So one of the most important things that you have to keep in mind when you're trying to change something, or you're trying to reach an objective, if you're in school and you're trying to achieve a certain level of GPA, or if you're trying to perhaps get promoted at your job, or if you're trying to pursue something bigger than yourself, you really have to put a lot of time into that. And like I said so many times, time is one of your most important resources. Your time and your mind, two most important resources that you have. So when it comes to time, you really have to be careful with how much not to sound, negative or too horrible or anything, but you really have to be careful with how much garbage you're feeding yourself. And as I just said, your two most important resources are time and your mind. So if you're feeding your mind garbage, you're doing two negative things. You're sort of, not taking advantage of your mind and, your ability to learn, and you're also giving away time. Two things. Well, you're not going to get that time back after you've given it away on such things. So something that can take advantage of your time and grow your mind is to actually try to learn something. And that is to each day you have an opportunity to learn more. You have an opportunity to grow in your job. You have an opportunity to learn more in your job, and you have opportunities to learn more outside of that. I tell people this all the time, that college isn't the end of learning. High school isn't the end of learning. You have to really think about what you want out of life and put time towards becoming that. You have to work on your mind. You have to continue to learn. You can spend a lot of time watching TV, and this is one of the big things. When you talk to people, or when I've talked to people about something that they want to change, I like to ask, what are you doing to get there? What do you think you want to do? Some of us have ideas on the sorts of things that we want to do, or perhaps something that can help us get there. But when it comes down to, are you really doing it? No. And it's not that you really have to be doing something at this exact moment. However, you want to progress towards it, and you progress towards what you want by learning about it. You progress towards what you want to be able to do by learning towards it. You find an avenue to reach that objective or that change that you want in your life, and you have to put time into that avenue. So there are so many ways that you can sort of put garbage into your mind. Facebook, that's one of them. Like spending a lot of time just scrolling through Facebook, that's a lot of time that you're putting to waste. Because you think about that time, you sit in for perhaps 5-minute increments or whatever, couple minute increments. It's not that much, but it adds up. And if you think about how much time you put in that in an entire day, even if it's an hour, even if it's 2 or 3 hours or whatever, that's a lot of time that you could have been using towards something productive. Television, for example. There's a lot of good things that you can watch, perhaps, and I always say that you should spend that time to relax. You should spend that time to sort of wind down or just like I said, relax. You have to have that in life. You have to have that balance between work and relaxation or whatever. But to spend 3 or 4 hours of your day doing that each day, that's not gonna necessarily help you get to what you're trying to do. For me, I've been trying to spend a lot more time reading lately. I've gotten several books, and I don't read as much as I like to, but that's something that I have to change. And how do I change that? I have to take more time away from, perhaps social media and television, and put that towards my reading, because those books are going to help me grow. They're going to help me reach my objective, the books and the action that I have to do from them. So, be careful with how much time you spend on things that aren't going to, get you towards those objectives that you have. And as I said from the beginning, if you're still here watching this, there's likely something that you want to change about your life. And, you really have to be careful with your time. And there are things that we can probably watch that will just, maybe even not to take away our knowledge, but they're taking away a lot of our time. I found myself spending a lot of time watching videos and things on YouTube and playing video games, which there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. For me, that's a way that I get to relax sometimes. But as far as YouTube, for example, there were things that I was watching that weren't necessarily benefiting me. And as I said, you have to have that good mix between entertainment and knowledge. So there are so many things that weren't necessarily benefiting me that I had to cut out. Honestly, I've cut a lot of television out, and that's a good thing, because there are some times where I come here and I'm like, I got to get into this book, I got to read, and I'm like, I'll just leave the television off. That's just something that you have to do. It's just a sacrifice that you have to make. If you want to lose weight, watching a lot of TV is not going to help you get there. Scrolling through Facebook is not going to help you get there. But then you'll say, I don't necessarily have time to go to the gym to work out. Well, think about all that time that you're putting towards, things that aren't going to help you lose that weight. And that's, you have to really be careful when you use that excuse that you don't have enough time. Because you'll find, if you look through your day, you'll find that there are plenty of things that you're doing that you could be transitioning towards those goals, and the things that you have to do. You simply have to do them to reach your objective. So, like I said, first identify the objective, identify what it is that you want to change out of your life, and you have to be really conscious of your time. We're already a month in, almost a half into this year, 2017. And, like I said, a lot of people have identified things at the beginning of the year that they want to change. But like I said, we're already, a good bit into the year already. So look back and think about how much have you done towards those objectives that you may have identified earlier, or perhaps before this year started. And if you're not progressing there, and like I said, think about your time. If you're putting time towards too many other things that aren't going to help you get there, you really have to change that. You simply have to change that. There are things that we're going to have to sacrifice to reach our objectives, and that's the case with anything. A lot of us will look at those people who have been successful in life, and we'll spend a lot of time watching them, do their thing. We'll spend a lot of time watching garbage, but they're doing that and they're getting paid off of it. What are you doing by simply just sitting back, eating popcorn for 5 hours a day watching them? It's not going to get you where you're trying to go. So that's really all I want to talk about, guys. Just be careful with your time. Like my battery is about to die, so I'm going to cut off here in a bit. Like I said, be careful with your time, and be careful with how much garbage you're feeding yourself on a daily basis, and remove some of that garbage. Shift that time towards the things that are going to help you get to where you're trying to go. Anyways, guys, I hope I've said something that can help you. Go ahead and like the page, subscribe, do whatever you got to do, and I'll see you next time.